Good morning. My name is Paula Cropper. I am an audit manager with Wells Fargo Bank. I am located here in Charlotte, North Carolina. As you know, or maybe you don't, but let me give you some background on who I am and where I work. The Federal Reserve System is one of several banking regulatory authorities. National banks must be members of the Federal Reserve System. However, we are regulated by the Office of the Comptroller of Currency, the OCC. So this is where I come in. I'm an internal auditor, and my job is to ensure the regulations of the banks are governed and followed. So how do I do that? Well, we help to manage the risk and ensure there are controls in place. For example, many of you are aware of the risk of COVID-19. You could die. The controls we have in place to mitigate this risk include staying at home, washing your hands, wearing face masks. Those are all things to mitigate the risk of dying. In banking, there are many risks. For example, when applying for a loan, we want to make sure you're able to pay it back. There's a risk that you may not. We mitigate that risk by looking at your credit score, evaluating your payment history, looking at your bank statements. These are all the things in the branches that they do. As an internal auditor, I review these policies and procedures, and I ensure that there are controls in place to mitigate the risk. Now, I don't work in the branches, but rather in the corporate offices in Charlotte. My department covers the entire bank. There are over 1,500 of us in our department, located in 9 different cities, to cover the entire bank, not just the loan department. But our job is to look at those policies and procedures, look at various transactions. We review what the OCC says we need to be doing, and we help to make sure that the bank is doing it. So we're kind of like the bank police. So how do I get here? Well, I have a bachelor's of science degree in business with a major in accounting. I love math. So for all you math majors and math people, go for it. After doing a few internships with the big 4 accounting firms, I realized I didn't want to be an accountant. I didn't want to be a certified public accountant, a CPA. Many of them help with taxes and they help with financial things. That wasn't really my forte. I'm a people person, very much a people person. So I did a couple of things, internships with Big Fours, didn't like it. Then I did an internship with a bank, Wells Fargo. Well, back then it was Core States Bank in 1993. Probably before many of you were born, but it's okay. So internal auditors really require kind of that communication, relationship building skills. We have to be able to talk to people. I don't know all areas of the bank. So when I go in to do an audit, I have to read a lot of regulations, talk to a lot of the business owners, so like the loan department, credit card, mortgage, wealth customers, commercial banks are sometimes our customers, and understand what they do and make sure that they're following the bank regulations governed by the OCC, as well as other regulatory bodies, such as the Federal Reserve, SEC. So you have to be a good listener. You have to make sure what they're telling you makes sense. Ask a lot of questions. I mean a lot of questions. I'm looking for what could go wrong, the risk, and what do they have in place to make sure it doesn't, the controls. So are you curious? Do you ask a lot of questions to figure things out? Are you someone that can comprehend well? Are you a critical thinker? These are all the skills that we look for in internal auditing. because you really have to dig a little deeper to understand what really could go wrong. And the only thing that you can get to that point is by asking questions. The who, what, when, where, and why. You know those, the 5 W's. That's how I got started in auditing, and I love it. After being here for a while, I wanted to do something different. So not only did I stay in audit, but I did a lot of work in our diversity and recruiting spaces. So I worked with a lot of organizations such as the National Association of Black Accountants, the National Black MBA Association, Alpha, which is our Association of Latino Professionals for America. And working with them in internal audit really gave my coworkers the opportunity to be a part of organizations that look like them. And these are all professional organizations giving you experience in your field of finance or accounting, and really networking with people that look like you. Continuing your education, there's a lot of seminars they provide. And so I decided, maybe I can go into recruiting. And so I talked to my manager about what does that look like. And next thing I know, I started a process within internal audit that allows us to hire diverse talent within my organization. So I lead a team that is really focused on hiring auditors for the audit department. Who best to hire auditors than auditors themselves? We know the skills that we're looking for. We know the talent that is needed to be successful. So my team and I hire for audit department. So it was a great transition for me, being in a department, working on various audit teams, the consumer team like the loan department, or the wholesale team, which is commercial banking and international. Traveling to Hong Kong and London was pretty awesome. And now in the recruiting space, hiring for those various teams. It's an awesome career path. So again, if you're curious, if you like to ask a lot of questions, if you really want to dig deep in problem solving, consider internal auditing. It may be just the right place for you. Have a good one. Talk to you soon. Bye.